What's up, y'all? This is Rev Yearwood, and you are tuned into Hip Hop Caucus, Think 100%, the coolest show on climate change. And without a doubt, I am so honored to be here at this function at the Youth Climate Rally because literally they're not only fighting for equality, but they're fighting for our existence. Well, to make this thing happen, you gotta have culture. And with me is my dear brother, who is one of the most phenomenal entities for the folks, man. Let them know who you are and where you from.
Peace, everybody. My name is Xiuhtezcatl. I'm 18 years old. I'm from Denver, Colorado. My family's from Mexico City. Blessed to be out here with the family, with Hip Hop Caucus. I'm a representative of the organization Earth Guardians, which is a nonprofit organization working with youth worldwide to empower and inspire, uplift their voices and their passions to create positive change in the world. The whole vision with this march is to really bring young people to the forefront of the conversation.
That's right.
To talk about how we're actually going to create and motivate and push our politicians to bring forth the positive change for our planet, for our climate, for our people. We have a really heavy emphasis on bringing marginalized communities really to the front. Talk about, Latino communities, Black communities, indigenous people, voices that have traditionally been left out of conversation and of movements, especially in the environmental and climate spectrum, to really bring and elevate those people, recognizing the power that those communities have to offer to this. I'm an MC and a hip hop artist too, so I'll be performing, I'll be sharing the music. It's just another avenue to help engage and inspire people. Grateful to be out here.
Well, we got to unpack some of that because I have known you for some time. I was teasing the other day that a little while ago, back in the day, he was a little shorter than me, he's taller than me, which is all part of the process. First of all, man, just honor to see you this in your growth in the movement. But even more importantly, man, I need you to unpack this. Why did you get involved with the climate movement? Let's take it back for people, because I want to go through that part of it and then bring it, to your MC's part.
Yeah, bro. My father is Mexica, indigenous Mexico, the indigenous people of Mexico City. Growing up in that community with that culture, with those teachings, that ceremony, a huge part of just like my upbringing was all about understanding our identity as indigenous peoples and how that meant that we have a responsibility to defend our land, our water, our community in honor of our ancestors and those that came before us that fought to give us this existence and in honor of future generations that will inherit it. So for me, it wasn't even so much about activism. It was about recognizing my place in my own humanity, my responsibility to be a caretaker of the earth in honor of who I was. And then my mother was very involved in the environmental movement. My older siblings were very involved. And so as a 6-year-old little kid, I got up on stage and started talking to people about it, very just like engaged in my community. And that it just happened, bit by bit. It became a huge passion of mine to speak up and to have my voice heard. And I recognize that when young people speak up, the world will listen, the world will pay attention.
That's right.
Yeah, we have a responsibility to use that power.
So let's talk about that. First of all, your mom is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember seeing her in New York, I think back in 2014.
Yeah, bro.
And your little brother who probably ain't little no more, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's probably the same situation. So it's a whole family affair. Like y'all and I know that's part of the whole, tell them about the whole Earth Guardians component.
Yeah, Earth Guardians is a nonprofit organization started in 1992 by my mother in Maui, Hawaii. And it was literally like my mom, her siblings, all of their kids, my cousins, my siblings, were all students at a school that she started called the Earth Guardian School. And it was literally like a whole family and our friends in Maui that started this community, and then they toured 29 states across the U.S. There were all kinds of performances. A lot of these youth were hip-hop artists. They were using art and they were using hip-hop culture to bring the message of protecting the environment and uplifting the youth all across the nation. From then, the Earth Guardians grounded in Boulder, Colorado, and I started up like the third generation in 2009. And from there, it exploded, and now there's like hundreds of thousands of individuals being touched by Earth Guardian programs across the planet. We have over 40 countries involved. We have a plan that by the end of 2020, we'll have an Earth Guardian crew in every African country.
That's so dope.
We have massive momentum and mobilization happening in Togo, Africa, Eastern Africa. We have lots and lots of young people that are mobilized, that are inspired, that are engaged. And these are young people, and the premise of Earth Guardians is really to uplift the voice of the younger generation. It's all about like bringing that light and shining that light back down to the young people because of the role that they have to play in really shaping the future.
Yo, that is like one of the greatest things. I just commend you for this on that pathway. So fast forward. So you're also, now this is Hip Hop Caucus. This is Think 100%, the coolest show on climate change. You are MC. So I understand you got an album coming out, EP coming out.
Yes, sir.
Now, tell us about that. Tell us about how that affects the movement. Tell us about how you are both an artist and an activist, as my dear friend, our other co-host, Antonique, always says you are an artivist. And so tell us how that impacts how you do this work as well.
So I started playing keys when I was like 7. composing, writing my music, and then making beats at like 12, writing bars at like 10, 11, 12. All about the environment, all about, you know, we were going and educating in different middle schools, high schools, elementary schools, me and my little bro, and we were like, how can we make this message something that young people can really connect to? And we recognized that hip-hop had been a vein that Earth Guardian had really utilized in the past, and in general, culturally, has had such a significant role in shaping culture and inspiring and engaging young people. So it became a passion, really, just like in the last couple of years. It became something that I was like fighting for all the time, using my art, writing, producing, recording, collaborating with artists. And so it became kind of like just from another way to talk about the message to like, it became my way to really deal with everything that was going on in the world. Something that I found hope in was the art, was the music, was the culture, because the heaviness of this crisis, like, it gets to us, and you gotta find hope in it, you know, still. And like that's where my journey as an MC began. I've been working on a record for the last year.
Okay,
let's different artists.
Okay.
I'm incredibly excited to release it. Stick from Dead Prez has got a verse on the album.
Yeah.
Some other young artists I'm really excited to be collaborating with, Jaden Smith. And yeah, we're putting out the full record in September. I'm dropping an EP in 6 days.
Okay.
July 27th, mark your calendars. You can follow me on the socials at Xiuhtezcatl. It's Xiuhtezcatl. It's me on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud. And yeah, it's all about the balance of how do we hold ourselves in integrity as artists and recognize that our platform is so much further than entertainment. Our platform is so much further than just being MCs. That culturally and historically, if we really honor the culture of hip-hop and where it came from, we are a force in the political sphere. We are a force and representatives for our communities, for those that do not have a voice, for the marginalized demographics of people who do not get the limelight, you know, and that's what we as hip-hop artists need to really represent and bring to the movement and bring to the world. So I'm really doing my best to walk that line. I'm going on tour in August, October, November. The movement just keeps going.
It's all going on. So before to go, man, you know, the Think 1% is three of us. It's me, it's Mustafa Ali, and it's, you know, the great Antonique Smith. And so I see Antonique Smith in the crowd. So I want her to join us because, you know, I'm kind of like the reverend climate guy, but she's actually like the really artist thing. So Anthony, come on in this, and y'all know, come up in this piece, y'all. Man.
You are so dope. He's amazing.
You got any questions?
So amazing. Actually, no, I don't have any questions. I just want to let you know that I love what you're doing. Not only are you extremely talented, like your lyrics are crazy, your flow is amazing, but the messages.
Yeah, real talk.
So necessary, especially for young people. You know, it's a lot of despair and negativity going on in the world, and I just want to thank you for the positivity that you're bringing, for the encouragement and it's the word I'm looking for, but you built like
the coolness too. The coolness, cool, you know what I'm saying?
You know, absolutely. But the song you did yesterday. Tell me the last one you did yesterday. Limits.
Yeah.
No limits. Exactly. Like that's the kind of stuff we need to feel in life. That because everything does seem like, especially for certain groups of people, there's limits put on us. By the world and by, you know, the people who are quote unquote in power. And so the fact that you are telling people that you're living a life with no limits, I think is so incredible.
Yeah.
That is how we gotta live. Thank you for everything you're doing. Yes.
Yo, man, this is what's up, man. So listen, you heard it here. You just heard this what we do here at Think 1%, the coolest show on climate change. That's what's up.